Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Ed Gale, the beloved character actor and performer whose unforgettable presence brought cult classics to life, passed away in May 2025 at the age of 61. Known for his work as the physical performer behind Chucky in Child's Play and as the charming lead in Howard the Duck, Ed's impact on pop culture was as unique as it was enduring. Born with dwarfism, Ed Gale stood at 3 feet 4 inches tall, but his spirit, talent, and humor were larger than life. He arrived in Hollywood with just $41 and a dream, and went on to appear in over 130 films, television shows, and commercials. From Spaceballs to The Polar Express, from guest spots on Family Matters to horror cult classics, he brought heart and humor to every role. What truly set Ed apart was his joy in storytelling, not only on screen, but in life. He loved a good joke, a 7-Eleven hot dog, and a long story told with laughter. Behind the scenes, he was known to friends and family as the fun uncle, the one who never stopped sharing the wonder of the movie industry. Director Tom Holland once said Ed was essential in helping bring the menace and magic of Chucky to life, a testament to Ed's commitment to his craft and to creating movie moments that would thrill generations. Though he's no longer with us, Ed Gale's legacy of creativity, laughter, and resilience lives on through the roles he inhabited and the joy he shared. He proved that great performance isn't about size, it's about soul. Kora Sue Collins, one of the last living stars of Hollywood's golden age, passed away peacefully in Beverly Hills at the age of 98, just days after her birthday. Her remarkable journey began in 1932 when, at just 4 years old, she was discovered in Los Angeles and cast in her first film. What followed was a dazzling yet thoughtful career that touched nearly 50 films before she chose to step away from the spotlight at 18. Cora Sue was more than a child star. She was a treasured part of film history. Personally selected by Greta Garbo for Queen Christina and Anna Karenina, she charmed audiences alongside legends like Claudette Colbert, Bette Davis, and William Powell. From Technicolor milestones like The Spectacle Maker to timeless classics like The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, she brought grace, wit, and wisdom to every role. Though her Hollywood years were short, they were rich in experience, friendships, and memories. Later in life, she reflected on her early fame with both fondness and honesty, choosing instead the quieter fulfillment of family and everyday life. "I wanted to enjoy the luxury of anonymity," she once said, yet she remained a beloved guest at film festivals where fans eagerly embraced her stories. Kora Sue Collins leaves behind a loving family and a legacy steeped in cinema's most iconic years. Her life, lived with elegance and perspective, reminds us that true stardom shines not only on screen, but in how one embraces life beyond it. Her memory will continue to inspire generations who cherish the magic of the silver screen. Breaking news. Elton John, a rocket man's journey through fame, family, and fragility. What drives his spirit at 77? Elton John, one of the most celebrated musical icons of all time, continues to astonish the world. At 77, the rocket man himself is writing a new chapter, one defined not just by applause and awards, but by resilience, reflection, and a quiet strength that is as powerful as any melody he has ever written. How does a man who has seen the mountaintops of fame confront the slow encroachment of frailty? How does one continue to shine when the spotlight begins to fade? And perhaps more importantly, what has Elton John taught us about turning pain into power? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we celebrate the life, music, and message of a living legend. Born Reginald Kenneth Dwight on March 25, 1947, in Pinner, Middlesex, Elton John found his voice before the world even knew his name. A child prodigy on the piano, he won a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music at age 11. But it was his collaboration with lyricist Bernie Taupin that would launch a golden age of songwriting that has lasted over 5 decades. In the 1970s, Elton's rise was meteoric. With hits like Your Song, Rocket Man, Tiny Dancer, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, he became a global sensation. His flamboyant stage outfits and larger-than-life personality matched the power of his compositions, making him not just a musical genius, but a cultural phenomenon. What was your first Elton John song? Which lyric still echoes in your heart after all these years? But behind the glasses and sequins was a man wrestling with deep insecurity, longing for love and acceptance. Elton's early fame came with the immense burden of being misunderstood and often lonely. He struggled with his identity in a time when authenticity came with a cost. The pressure of performance, public scrutiny, and internal turmoil took a toll on his mental well-being. Yet through it all, he kept playing, kept singing, kept writing. In the 1980s and 1990s, Elton reinvented himself. His tribute song, Candle in the Wind 1997, honoring Princess Diana, became the best-selling single of all time. He composed award-winning soundtracks for Disney's The Lion King, including the Oscar-winning Can You Feel the Love Tonight? He took to Broadway, winning a Tony Award for Ada. He entered the new millennium not just as a survivor, but as a master of reinvention. Have you ever used music to help you cope, to heal, or to remember someone you loved? Did Elton John ever write the soundtrack to a chapter of your life? However, his greatest reinvention came not on stage, but in his personal life. In 2005, he married longtime partner David Furnish, and together they have raised 2 sons. Elton has often said that becoming a father changed everything, giving his life a clarity and purpose that even music never quite could. Family became his sanctuary, and through their love, he found peace. Still, time has its way with even the brightest stars. Over the past decade, Elton John has faced mounting health challenges. In 2017, he underwent surgery for prostate cancer, a procedure that brought unexpected complications and a long recovery. Then came a dangerous infection that nearly took his life. More recently, Elton revealed that he is gradually losing his vision. In interviews, he shared the pain of not being able to clearly see his children play sports. For a man whose world was once filled with lights, color, and spectacle, the slow dimming of sight has been profoundly difficult, and yet, he endures. In 2023, Elton completed his farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, a 5-year journey that became the highest-grossing tour of all time, earning over $900 million. Fans across continents came not just to hear the music, but to thank the man who gave them so much. At his final concert, he told the crowd, "I will never forget you. You are in my head, my heart, and my soul." Were you one of the lucky ones to witness Elton live in concert? What was that one song that made the crowd hold their breath? Despite the curtain falling on his touring days, Elton refuses to step away from music. He recently collaborated with Brandi Carlile on a new single, Who Believes in Angels, a song born out of his quiet recovery period. It is gentle, haunting, hopeful, a reflection of a man at peace with where he has been and still curious about where he is going. What inspires someone to keep creating even as the body slows down? Is it habit, hunger, or something deeper? Elton John's legacy stretches far beyond music. He is a tireless advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness through the Elton John AIDS Foundation, which has raised over $500 million globally. He has spoken out for LGBTQ+ rights, mental health awareness, and addiction recovery. His own life, once full of chaotic excess, is now a beacon of transformation. What makes Elton's journey remarkable is not just his talent, but his transparency. He has never pretended to be perfect. He has stumbled, risen, and shared his scars. He turned his battles into bridges, connecting generations who see in him not just a performer, but a person. In 2024, he achieved EGOT status by winning an Emmy Award, joining the rare group of artists who have won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. It was not just a career milestone, but a moment of poetic justice for a man who had once been told he would never last. What do you believe is Elton John's greatest legacy? The music, the message, or the man himself? Today, Elton John lives quietly with his husband and sons, cherishing the simplicity of home life. He has traded stadium lights for candlelit dinners, roaring applause for bedtime stories. And yet, his light continues to shine, brighter perhaps, because it now reflects love, legacy, and lessons hard-earned. As we reflect on Elton John's story, we are reminded that the real measure of greatness is not just in how high we fly, but in how gently we land. The Rocket Man may no longer be soaring across stages, but his music, his message, and his humanity continue to lift us. What are your most cherished memories of Elton John? Which song helped you through a tough time or made you feel seen? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if his journey has inspired you, please like this video and subscribe for more tributes to the legends who shaped our lives. Thank you, Elton, for the joy, the vulnerability, the truth, and the timeless songs. May your days be full of peace, and may your legacy echo like the final note of a perfect chorus, long after the curtain falls. Kathleen Hughes, a shining star from Hollywood's golden age, captivated audiences with elegance, charisma, and an unmistakable screen presence. Born Elizabeth Margaret von Gherkin on November 14, 1928, in Los Angeles, Kathleen defied early doubts about her future in film to become one of the era's most recognizable faces, thanks to her roles in iconic classics like It Came from Outer Space and The Glass Web. Her career began under the bright lights of 1940s Fox Studios, where she quickly made an impression with performances in Mr. Belvedere Goes to College and Mother is a Freshman. But it was her 1953 turn in the 3D sci-fi favorite It Came from Outer Space and a single publicity still capturing her scream that would become etched in pop culture for generations. Kathleen was more than just a scream queen. She starred alongside Rock Hudson in The Golden Blade, held her own in film noir thrillers, and made memorable appearances on television hits such as MASH, Perry Mason, and Mission: Impossible. A fixture in American homes throughout the 60s and 70s, her work was always marked by grace, wit, and an intuitive understanding of her craft. Beyond her screen roles, she shared nearly 6 decades of marriage with producer Stanley Rubin, building a legacy grounded in love, family, and creative passion. She passed away on May 19, 2025, at the age of 96, leaving behind children Angie, Michael, and John, and a lifetime of unforgettable moments. Kathleen Hughes will be remembered not only for the scenes she brought to life, but for the spark she carried with her, long after the cameras stopped rolling, a beloved talent whose image and impact live on in the hearts of those who admired her. Devon Harz, whose quietly powerful performances brought life to complex characters, has passed at the age of 41 due to complications related to cancer. Born in Lubbock, Texas, on July 29, 1983, Devon's journey from the wide-open plains of the American Southwest to the bright lights of New York City was marked by a spirit of adventure, dedication, and grace. He first captured audiences' attention with his portrayal of the legendary boxer Jack Dempsey in HBO's Boardwalk Empire. That role, intense, thoughtful, and unforgettable, would set the tone for the work that followed. Devon's talent shone in each appearance, from Manifest and Daredevil to Blue Bloods and Orange is the New Black. He had a way of embodying characters with quiet strength and emotional depth, a gift that made him a standout on both screen and stage. Off-screen, Devon's life was equally rich. Raised with a deep bond to nature and animals, he never lost his West Texas roots. He found peace near the Rocky Mountains, strength in martial arts, and joy in horseback riding, often joking it was safer than the gym. His friends and colleagues remember him as devoted, kind, and wholly present, always giving 100% to his craft and to those around him. Though his time was short, Devon Harz leaves behind a legacy of authenticity and artistic passion. He is survived by his parents, sister, and beloved cat, Maud. In every role, in every connection he made, Devon gave something real, and that is how he'll be remembered, as a true artist and a heart deeply felt. Irv Gotti, a bold visionary who helped shape the sound of modern hip-hop and R&B, has passed away at the age of 54. Born Irving Domingo Lorenzo Jr. in Queens, New York, he rose from humble beginnings to become a driving force behind one of music's most influential eras. As the founder of Murder Inc. Records, Irv discovered and shaped the careers of artists like Ja Rule and Ashanti, creating a sound that blended raw hip-hop energy with soulful R&B melodies. From Always on Time to Foolish, his productions became the soundtrack of a generation, honest, emotional, and unforgettable. Before launching his own label, Irv was already making waves as an A&R executive at Def Jam, where he helped bring DMX and Jay-Z into the spotlight. Under the moniker DJ Irv, he produced for Jay-Z's debut, Reasonable Doubt, and earned respect for his ear, drive, and undeniable talent. Gotti's journey wasn't without hardship. Legal battles and health struggles, including diabetes-related issues and multiple strokes, tested his resilience. Yet, he continued to reinvent himself, most recently finding success in television with the BET series Tales, a project that merged storytelling with hip-hop in a new and compelling way. His legacy reaches far beyond the charts. Colleagues and artists remember him as a passionate creator, a loyal friend, and a family man. His children, Angie, Sonny, and Jonathan, remembered him as a man who changed the world through music and love. Irv Gotti leaves behind a sound that still moves us, and a legacy that will never fade. Don Mischer, the masterful force behind television's most unforgettable live moments, passed away peacefully at the age of 85. For more than 5 decades, he directed the pulse of American entertainment, shaping how we experienced our most iconic cultural events, from Super Bowl halftime shows to the Emmy and Oscar broadcasts. Born in San Antonio, Texas, Mischer brought a deep sense of humanity and precision to every production. Whether it was Michael Jackson's historic Super Bowl performance, Prince serenading in the Miami rain, or the solemn opening ceremony of the 1996 Olympics, Don orchestrated moments that transcended the screen and entered the national memory. His remarkable ability to manage the intricacies of live television, hundreds of camera shots in mere minutes, the emotions of artists, the unpredictability of live events, earned him 13 Primetime Emmys and 10 Directors Guild Awards. But more than awards, it was his care for artists and unwavering commitment to excellence that earned him the love of an industry. Mischer guided broadcasts that made us laugh, cry, and come together, from the Kennedy Center honors to Barack Obama's inauguration celebration. He directed with grace under pressure, navigating even the most chaotic moments with calm, humor, and heart. In his own words, Don never saw his work as brain surgery. but to those of us who grew up watching his productions, he performed magic. His legacy lives on in every standing ovation, every shared national moment, and every smile in front of the television. Don Mischer is survived by his loving wife Susan, his children and grandchildren, and by the millions who felt joy, wonder, and pride through the world he brought to life. Lynn Marie Stewart, the beloved actress who brought life, laughter, and warmth to generations, has passed away at the age of 78. Best known for her iconic role as Miss Yvonne in Pee-wee's Playhouse, Lynn's legacy is woven into the fabric of American television, a vibrant spirit who lit up every screen she graced. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Lynn's love for performing took root early, blossoming through years with the Groundlings, the legendary comedy troupe where she forged lifelong bonds with artists like Paul Rubens. As the most beautiful woman in Puppetland, she became a beacon of joy for millions of children and adults alike, her character a mix of charm, innocence, and irresistible humor. But Lynn's talent didn't stop there. From her early roles in MASH and Laverne and Shirley, to her unforgettable appearances as Bonnie, Charlie's mother, on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, she continually evolved, embracing both comedy and character depth. Her work spanned decades and mediums, always marked by her commitment to the craft and her generous heart. In her final days, after being diagnosed with a tumor, Lynn remained surrounded by family and art, even watching a rough cut of her last film with loved ones just a day before her passing. She left quietly, but her impact resounds loudly in the hearts of fans and friends who adored her. Lynn Marie Stewart's kindness, her laughter, and her unwavering love for storytelling will be cherished. She was, and will always remain, a beautiful soul in Puppetland and beyond. Bruce French, a cherished actor of stage and screen whose grace and quiet strength enriched every role, has passed away at the age of 79. With over 150 screen credits and a profound presence in American theater, Bruce was a true craftsman, beloved for his subtle power and steadfast humanity. Born on July 4, 1945 in Rhinebeck, Iowa, Bruce carried with him the heartland's humility and depth. He served in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War before pursuing acting at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. What followed was a remarkable journey through decades of performance, from Shakespearean stages to television sets across the country. Audiences knew him best as Father Lonigan on Passions, the blind priest with a sixth sense for approaching evil. The role, spanning the show's entire 9-year run, reflected the warmth and moral grounding that Bruce brought to so many characters, often men of faith, drawn with quiet conviction. His television work was a tapestry of beloved series: The West Wing, Gilmore Girls, Boston Legal, Star Trek, Mad Men, and Grey's Anatomy, among many others. On the big screen, he lent his talents to Jurassic Park 3rd, Thank You for Smoking, and Beginners. Though Alzheimer's eventually dimmed the light of his memory, it never erased the legacy of love and artistry Bruce left behind. Those who knew him speak of a kind soul, a generous friend, and a passionate artist who brought dignity to every scene. Bruce French is survived by his devoted wife, Eileen Barnett, and his nieces, Claire and Paula. His spirit lives on in the roles he played and the lives he quietly touched. Rosanna Norton, a visionary costume designer whose work colored some of Hollywood's most imaginative films, passed away peacefully on May 7th at the age of 80. With a career spanning more than 4 decades, Rosanna left an indelible mark on cinema, blending artistic intuition with storytelling brilliance. From her Oscar-nominated work on Tron to the unforgettable prom dress worn by Sissy Spacek in Carrie, Rosanna redefined what it meant to shape characters through costume. She wasn't just designing clothes, she was sculpting memory. Each piece, each detail, carried narrative weight, and her choices remain iconic, instantly transporting audiences back to pivotal cinematic moments. Born in Los Angeles, Rosanna initially pursued painting at UCLA. That visual sensibility never left her. It informed every fabric she touched. Her early collaborations with directors like Brian De Palma and Terrence Malick set the stage for a remarkable filmography, including Badlands, Airplane, The Stuntman, Inner Space, The Flintstones, and Gremlins 2. She joined the Costume Designers Guild in 1975 and mentored a generation of artists who carry her influence forward today. Later in life, she returned to painting, completing the creative circle she began as a young woman. Rosanna faced her final chapter with grace, supported by the family she adored. She is survived by her children, grandchildren, and sister, who remember her not only for her extraordinary talent, but for her humor, humility, and generous heart. Rosanna Norton will be remembered as a true artist, a woman who painted with textiles, dreams, and imagination, and who made movie magic real. David Cope, a visionary composer and professor, quietly revolutionized the world of music from his home in Santa Cruz, California. Passing away on May 4th at the age of 83 due to congestive heart failure, he leaves behind not just a lifetime of original compositions, but a legacy that forever reshaped the boundaries of human creativity. Best known as the creator of EMI, Experiments in Musical Intelligence, Cope pioneered the use of computers to compose classical music in the styles of Bach, Mozart, and Rachmaninoff, decades before artificial intelligence became a household term. What began as an answer to his own writer's block in the early 1980s soon became a groundbreaking exploration into how music is born, understood, and felt. His work often sparked controversy. While some hailed his algorithms as genius, others accused him of removing the soul from music. But Cope didn't shy away from criticism. Instead, he welcomed it, understanding that his work challenged not just tradition, but our very definition of art. "Creativity is simple," he once said. "Consciousness, intelligence, those are hard." Through Emmy and later Emily Howell, a more collaborative system, he demonstrated that computers could not only mimic style, but inspire genuine emotion and inquiry. As a longtime professor at UC Santa Cruz, Cope also educated generations of students, urging them to question, to experiment, and to listen deeply. Survived by his wife Mary Jane, their 4 sons and grandchildren, David Cope will be remembered not just as a father of algorithmic composition, but as a gentle provocateur whose work continues to echo in the world of music and beyond. Dave Allen, the pioneering bassist and co-founder of the influential post-punk band Gang of Four, left an unmistakable imprint on modern music through his bold artistry and unmistakable sound. Born in the heart of northern England, Allen's life was shaped by rhythm and rebellion. In 1976, alongside fellow musicians, he helped launch Gang of Four, a group that reshaped rock music by fusing raw punk energy with funk grooves and politically charged lyrics. His bass lines on tracks like Damaged Goods and I Found That Essence Rare became anthems for a generation seeking meaning beyond the mainstream. After his early success, Allen co-founded Shriekback, another innovative project blending new wave and funk, pushing sonic boundaries with albums like Oil and Gold. Yet, fame never distracted him from his commitment to creative independence. He continued to explore new frontiers through work with World Domination Recordings and other ventures in both music and technology. In the later years of his life, Allen faced the profound challenge of early-onset dementia, a condition that slowly quieted the vibrant force he once brought to every stage. Still, his spirit endured. Friends remember him not only for his brilliance, but for the warmth, humor, and kindness he carried through decades of collaboration. On a quiet morning, surrounded by his loved ones, Dave's journey came to a peaceful close. Though the illness had taken its toll, his legacy stands bold and unshaken. From the stages of Leeds to global influence, Dave Allen's music will forever echo with the pulse of truth, rebellion, and the art of pushing boundaries. Julian Puland, one of Quebec's most beloved and influential actors, has left a legacy that resonates far beyond the screen. Best known for his unforgettable portrayal of Elvis Gratton, a flamboyant garage mechanic dreaming of Elvis Presley's stardom, Puland brought humor, critique, and reflection to generations of audiences. He passed away at the age of 78, surrounded by loved ones, after a life steeped in art, courage, and culture. Born in Montreal in 1946, Puland's journey began on the theater stage before he stepped into cinema in the early 1970s. But it was his creative partnership with director Pierre Falardeau that truly defined his career. Together, they shaped the unforgettable character of Bob Elvis Gratton, a figure both hilariously exaggerated and deeply symbolic, a mirror to the societal contradictions within Quebec and its complex relationship with the world. The Elvis Gratton films and series became iconic, blending slapstick with razor-sharp political commentary. Yet Puland's talent extended far beyond satire. His sensitive performance in the drama Camion earned him the Jutra Award for Best Actor, and his touching role in Minuit Le Soir earned him widespread acclaim, including the prestigious Gémeaux Award. In his later years, Puland faced health challenges with quiet strength. His passing, though a profound loss, has prompted a chorus of tributes from fellow artists and leaders alike. They remember not just the characters he brought to life, but the wisdom, wit, and passion he carried into every role. Julian Puland's influence on Quebecois culture, and on those who value art with meaning, will endure. He made us laugh, think, and above all, feel. His voice remains, echoing through the timeless characters he gave us. Sherry Robb, a visionary literary agent, talent manager, and producer, touched the lives of countless storytellers during her remarkable 5-decade career. She passed peacefully at 81 after years of facing congestive heart disease with quiet courage and unwavering determination. A compassionate spirit and a fierce advocate for creativity, Robb guided the careers of more than 100 first-time authors. Among them were Betty White, whose beloved book Pet Love was born from a conversation with Robb about healing and animals, and Mary Wilson of The Supremes, whose autobiography Dreamgirl became one of the best-selling music memoirs of all time. She championed bold voices and meaningful stories, helping bring Robert Graysmith's Zodiac to the page, which later inspired David Fincher's acclaimed film. She also launched screenwriter Ronald D. Moore's career, paving the way for a future filled with spacefaring sagas like Battlestar Galactica. With a background in social work and a heart for mentoring, Robb brought empathy into every negotiation, every manuscript, and every creative partnership. She co-founded the Robb Squad Film Co. to spotlight emerging talent and, in her final years, realized her dream of producing meaningful cinema. Inducted into the Personal Managers Hall of Fame and a proud contributor to UCLA and USC programs, Sherry Robb leaves behind more than accolades. She leaves a legacy of voices empowered, stories told, and futures changed. Her journey was not only one of professional success, but one of love, for words, for people, and for the power of storytelling to transform lives. Latest news. Will Smith, one of the most recognizable figures in global entertainment, has long captivated the world not only through his on-screen brilliance, but through the sheer resilience of his spirit. At 55, the man once crowned the Fresh Prince has lived many lives: rapper, sitcom star, blockbuster hero, devoted father, and now a man in search of inner peace amidst fame's relentless glare. What drives Will Smith to keep going when others might fold? How does he manage the weight of public scrutiny, personal pain, and global expectations while remaining a symbol of charisma and hope? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we take a heartfelt look into the journey of a man who keeps rising, no matter how hard he falls. Born on September 25, 1968 in West Philadelphia, Willard Carroll Smith Jr. seemed destined to entertain. He began as a teenage rapper, rising to prominence as part of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Their music, joyful and humorous, won the first ever Grammy in the rap category in 1989 for Parents Just Don't Understand. Yet behind the punchlines was a young man navigating the complexities of fame, finances, and self-worth. The real breakthrough came in 1990 when Smith transitioned from music to television with NBC's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The show became a cultural touchstone, blending humor with poignant storytelling. It gave Will the platform to explore acting and hone a presence that felt both confident and vulnerable. Audiences connected with him not just because he made them laugh, but because he made them feel seen. What memories do you have from The Fresh Prince? Was there a scene that made you laugh out loud, or one that made you cry? From there, Will Smith's ascent to global stardom was meteoric. By the late 1990s, he had become Hollywood's most bankable star with roles in Independence Day, Men in Black, and Enemy of the State. In the 2000s, he expanded into emotionally resonant performances in Ali, The Pursuit of Happiness, and 7 Pounds, showcasing a depth that defied the limitations of genre. But success came with its shadows. As his fame grew, so did the pressure. Will has openly discussed his internal battles, his desire to be liked, his perfectionism, and the toll of constantly performing for others. In his 2021 memoir, Will, he peeled back the curtain, revealing traumas from childhood, including witnessing domestic violence and carrying deep-rooted fears of inadequacy. Is it not striking how someone so adored could still struggle with self-worth? What does Will's journey tell us about the pressures even our heroes face? Health-wise, Will Smith has largely maintained a strong physique, often admired for his fitness in action-heavy roles. However, he has faced silent battles that go beyond the physical. In recent years, he has spoken candidly about emotional burnout, intense self-criticism, and the psychological toll of maintaining his image. In 2021, he launched a YouTube series documenting his quest to get in the best shape of his life, only to discover that his body was not the real issue. His mind and spirit were. He admitted that after decades of relentless ambition, he had lost sight of joy. He had gained weight, felt emotionally depleted, and realized that what he needed was not another trophy, but personal healing. That journey led to therapy, spiritual introspection, and hard conversations with himself and his family. Through it all, Will reminded fans that strength does not mean invincibility. It means being willing to confront the truth. Have you ever reached a moment where you had to pause and ask yourself what truly matters? How did you begin your own healing? Of course, it is impossible to talk about Will Smith's recent journey without mentioning the incident at the 2022 Academy Awards. During the live telecast, Will walked on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock after a joke aimed at his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. The moment stunned the world and became one of the most discussed controversies in Oscar history. Will later apologized, both publicly and privately, acknowledging that his actions were wrong. In a deeply emotional video, he expressed regret, shared his journey of reflection, and emphasized his desire for growth and reconciliation. He did not shy away from the pain or public backlash. It became part of his transformation. What would you do if your most vulnerable moment was seen by millions? Could you find the courage to grow from it? Following the Oscars, Will took a step back from public life. He paused projects, traveled quietly, and focused on introspection. This period of reflection also led him to reconnect with his family on a deeper level. Will and Jada, long known for their unfiltered conversations, shared more openly about their journey as individuals and as a couple. Together, they navigated not just the spotlight, but the complex terrain of personal accountability, growth, and mutual respect. Behind the fame is a father deeply committed to his children, Trey, Jaden, and Willow. Each has carved out unique creative paths, and Will has supported their endeavors while also learning from them. In recent years, it is clear that his children have become his teachers, challenging him to evolve, to listen more, and to embrace change. Family has been Will's anchor through every storm. Whether celebrating wins or navigating heartbreak, they have stood by one another with transparency and grace. Have your children or loved ones ever helped you grow in ways you did not expect? What has family taught you about forgiveness? Now, Will Smith is slowly returning to the public eye, not with fanfare, but with humility. His performance in Emancipation, 2022, a historical drama about a man's escape from slavery, reminded audiences of his ability to channel pain into purpose. The film was heavy, raw, and deeply personal, echoing Will's own journey toward redemption. He has re-engaged with audiences through carefully chosen interviews, documentary projects, and social media reflections. His focus is no longer just on being the biggest star, but on being a better man. In this chapter, Will Smith is not chasing approval. He is seeking peace. He meditates daily, leans on spiritual practices, and surrounds himself with people who challenge him to grow. His vulnerability has become his strength. He still smiles that iconic smile, but now it carries the weight of experience. What do you think is more powerful, success without scars, or healing that comes after the fall? As we look back on Will Smith's remarkable life, we are reminded that greatness is not defined by moments of perfection, but by how one responds to imperfection. Will has stumbled, fallen, and stood up again, each time with more depth, more honesty, and more grace. Will Smith's story is far from over. If anything, it has just begun anew, and through his openness, he invites us all to ask, are we being true to ourselves even when it hurts? Are we willing to let go of the need to appear perfect and embrace the messy, beautiful work of being real? So what is your favorite Will Smith moment? Was it a performance that moved you, a quote that stayed with you, or a moment when he made you feel less alone? Share your reflections in the comments. And if his journey has touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe for more stories of resilience, redemption, and real humanity. Thank you, Will, for showing us that even a prince must learn to heal, and that the greatest victories are those we win within ourselves.